Okay, so what if I told you that a massive chunk of the entire global economy could just stop, all because of one single waterway? Well, Thailand has a plan for that, a $28 billion plan to build a bypass. We're talking about a move so ambitious it could literally redraw the map of global trade, or it could become one of the biggest, most expensive failures we've ever seen. So let's break down this incredible gamble. And to really wrap your head around just how big this is, get this. Every single day, about a third of everything shipped around the planet gets squeezed through one tiny, narrow passage. If that choke point suddenly closed, for the global economy, it would be like an instant heart attack. No exaggeration. And this is the number Thailand is willing to bet to completely change the game. $28 billion. That's just a staggering amount of money for what is essentially a high-stakes shortcut that they say will totally revolutionize how goods move around the world. So, what is this all-important choke point? Well, it's called the Strait of Malacca. It's this narrow stretch of water, tucked between Malaysia and the island of Sumatra in Indonesia. For centuries, it's basically been the main shipping superhighway, connecting the Indian and Pacific Oceans. But here's where it gets really interesting when you break it down. We're not just talking about t-shirts and electronics. For a powerhouse like China, this strait isn't just a convenience. It's an absolute lifeline. A mind-boggling 80% of the oil that fuels its entire economy passes right through here. You can imagine that kind of dependency creates a huge, huge vulnerability. And that vulnerability, well, that's really at the core of what experts call the Malaka Dilemma. It's this massive problem that really boils down to three things: dangerous traffic jams, the simple physical limits of the strait, and, probably most important of all, a whole lot of geopolitical drama. For years, this has been a huge source of anxiety for Beijing. In fact, they came up with the term Malacca Dilemma themselves. It perfectly describes this chilling reality they face. Their entire energy supply is at the mercy of a waterway that's heavily influenced by the U.S. Navy. This is a massive driver behind their whole Belt and Road Initiative, right? It's all about finding other ways to get their stuff to reduce this one critical dependency. But look, this isn't just some abstract military game. The strait is dangerously crowded right now. I mean, we're talking more than 60 accidents out on the water every single year. And what's worse, the experts are predicting that by 2030, which is right around the corner, the traffic is just going to be too much for the strait to handle. It's a ticking time bomb, for sure. So what's the fix? Well, for centuries, the big dream was to just dig a canal straight through Thailand, like an Asian Panama Canal. But that idea was always just too expensive, too risky. So now, Thailand's got a new, kind of modern idea: the Southern Land Bridge. Okay, so how is this thing supposed to work? The plan is basically to build two brand new, massive deep-sea ports, one over in Ranong on the west coast and another one in Chumphon on the east coast. Then you connect them with a 90-kilometer corridor, a whole new railway and motorway. Simple, right? And the way they sell it, it sounds pretty amazing. The Thai government is claiming this land bridge will save ships 4 full days of sailing time. They say it's going to slash shipping costs by 15%. Oh, and it'll create 280,000 jobs and give a huge boost to their GDP. I mean, on paper, what's not to love? But is it just a little too good to be true? Because as soon as the plan came out, the critics and experts started poking some pretty big holes in it. And this really gets to the heart of the problem. A canal is easy, right? A ship just sails right on through. But this land bridge, it's like a complicated 3-step dance. You have to unload every single container at the first port, load them all onto a train, drive them across, and then reload every single one onto a different ship on the other side. It's a logistical headache compared to just sailing. And that's the main argument against it. Critics are saying this whole unload, reload, ship process is just super inefficient. Think about it. Every hour spent waiting for a crane or dealing with customs just adds time and money. Those delays could completely wipe out all the time and cost savings they're promising. And then you've got the whole geopolitical chessboard. China, of course, loves this idea because it gives them a route away from U.S. influence. But its big regional rival, India, is really worried. See, for India, the Malacca Strait acts as a kind of strategic buffer. If China can just zip through Thailand instead, India's naval advantage in the area gets a lot weaker. Then there's the giant elephant in the room, Singapore. I mean, they're the gold standard for running a port. And they are not just sitting around. They're building a new, completely automated megaport that's going to handle 65 million containers. That's almost double what Thailand is even aiming for. So the question is, how can they possibly compete with that? And, beyond all the global strategy and big numbers, the project is facing some serious battles right there at home. We're talking about the real-world impact on local people and, of course, the messy world of Thai politics. This quote from a local farmer just says it all, doesn't it? For them, this isn't about geopolitics. It's about their livelihood. They call their durian fruit green gold, and they're terrified that their valuable farms and fishing areas are just going to be paved over. For them, this project isn't progress. It's just pure destruction. And if all of that wasn't enough of a headache, the whole thing has slammed into a political brick wall. The Thai parliament was dissolved, which means the current government is just a caretaker. And legally, they can't approve any huge spending projects like this. So everything is just on hold. So, as of right now, this $28 billion dream is totally frozen. It's stuck in what everyone's calling a policy vacuum. All the international investors are just sitting on the sidelines, waiting and wondering if the next government will even want to keep this project alive. Which brings us right back to the big question. Is this land bridge a brilliant, visionary shortcut that's going to redefine global trade for the next 100 years? Or is it just a $28 billion white elephant, a ridiculously expensive project that's doomed from the start? Honestly, the answer to that is going to shape the future for the entire region.